So, there's a saying, a phrase, in the world of gambling. The house always wins. It doesn't matter if you're up a few $100. Let's say you're playing the table. Let's say you're playing poker or blackjack. Blackjack's my preferable game. Say you're playing blackjack. You're up a couple $100. You started maybe with $50 to $100. You're playing the cheap tables, which are like $3 or $5 a hand. What'll happen during the process of you playing is they'll change dealers first. That's the first thing they'll do. They're going to change the hands that are touching the cards. Especially if the whole table's winning. The whole table's doing great. The whole table is invigorated, is excited. It doesn't matter if some people behind the scenes and all that are saying these fucking idiots are over here playing and they're winning money against the house. How fucking dare they? They start with switching the dealer. That's the first step. The next step is they change the cards. They just put new decks in. Well, why? Because they're unshuffled. They're ordered. They're new. They're in a way that makes it easier for the house to win. They shuffle it a few times, which is okay. They put it through the shuffler, and the shufflers are, they kind of do their job. But the house always wins. Now, I want you to think about that phrase in the context of certain goings-ons that have just recently happened. Who's the house? How did they win? Why did they win? It reminds me of a Rage Against the Machine song. We got to take the power back. Of course, Rage Against the Machine is socialist, so you know what they're talking about at that point. They got to take that power back. The machine has taken their power back. The house always wins. Look at the people behind the house. How many people behind those houses were working in tandem, in lockstep with other people that are working for the house, so that the house could win, step by step by step. Interestingly enough, the shit that happened recently has some interesting developments. The ushers escorted people through the door. I'm going to put it that way. Because the ushers weren't blocking because of COVID, I suppose, or other shit. No, the ushers let them through the door. 4 people lost their lives. And the only one they're worried about is the one that works for the house, who always wins. Not the other ones. No, not the other ones. Their lives were meaningless. This concept is something that people should get familiar with. And why does the house always win? Because they control the rules. They control the cards. They control the method in which you play. You're there just to win. On the side, maybe they let a couple people through that'll win. The only time the house doesn't win is when the house isn't involved. Case in point, if you ever watch Poker Stars, great show, love the show. Because a lot of those people, they're basically accountants, they're mathematicians, they're fucking brilliant. They're able to calculate the odds in their head of who has what and where. And the one that's better at math is usually the one that wins. It's a game of skill, as they call it, right? Well, these people are not playing against the house. They're playing against each other. They also happen to be high rollers, so they make millions to begin with, because that's how they roll. But when the house doesn't win is when the house is not involved. So the question now becomes, what's next? There's 2 things I see that needs to happen. The house needs to be removed from the equation when it comes to our voice. The other thing that needs to happen is the dealers, the ones that control the method in which we play this game, need to be removed from power. They need to be crippled to the point where they can't rig the game in anybody else's favor, especially not the house. My cat's having a freak show over here playing with the other cat. That's awesome. At any rate, that's the situation we're in right now. This might be a little bit shorter than I want it to be, because I wanted to put this analogy up forward. I wanted to put it out there, because there's a thing that keeps running through my head, something I've been thinking about doing. The only thing that's holding me back is my wife is like, no, we ain't doing that. And that's putting myself in the game. Running for office, maybe? But I'm not sure that's a great idea. Because either you work for the house or you don't work. They'll find ways to remove you. Because the house always wins. I mean, there's a few other options. Demolition might be a good thing for the house. Maybe we need to rip it out to the foundation and rebuild. But, you know, corruption is corruption. It does what it does. The reason why the house wins is because they control the game. As I said so many times, I want to make that point. The house wins because they control the cards. They control the dealer. They control the method in which you play. They don't control who sits and doesn't sit at the table. And not everybody's interested in playing at the table either. That's the thing. They'd rather go play slots, which is no-brainer. Just, easy. Low information. You just pull a lever and hope for the best. Giving your money to the house. Constantly. Cards are the only place that you actually have control. Some control on whether you win or lose. But you need to know how to play that game. So now it comes down to who wants to step up and get off the slot machines and start learning how to play cards. I'm one of them. Are you? That's the great question to ask at this point, isn't it? This analogy is brought to you by me. I hope you enjoyed this analogy. I have nothing much else to say. This thing has been running through my head, along with be the change you want to see. So, there's some things that need to happen. And the dealers aren't the problem. It's the house. And since the house always wins, I think some fairer hands need to get in control of that house, don't you think? Anyways, I thank you for watching this video. I'll talk to you next time.